This is the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, we interview leading local business leaders to inspire the vision and spirit that is in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque.
I want to get right into it today. This is Jason Rigby with the Albuquerque Business Podcast. I want to talk about two things that's going to fuck over your business in 2020. And I'm being serious today because I want you guys to realize and understand what is potentially happening in the world, what's happening in business, and what's going to cause you to screw up the year. You have a whole new year coming up. We have a new decade. We have mass changes in technology that's happening all around the world. We have a nation like China that is coming up and taking over Silicon Valley. We have our nation, which is hugely divided politically. We've got a worry of a threat of an economic collapse coming into the United States. We've got so many things going on. And here we are sitting complacent, not doing a damn thing, and hoping that some magic pill, some heroin shot is going to come out and save your business, or you're just randomly going to all of a sudden magically get all these customers. What's the definition of insanity? What did Einstein say? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So I'm going to talk about two things that's going to fuck up your business in 2020. Number one, we're going to get right into this. Number one is fear. And HBR, I don't know if you should go to the hbr.org. Harvard Business Review, amazing articles on their blog. You can read a lot of stuff for free on there. There is a subscription model if you want it, but they have a whole article on fear and entrepreneurship. And fear, as we know, it can help and it can hurt you. But I want to talk today specifically about 2020 because, as this article says, 75% of business ventures fell within 10 years. How many businesses you see or your friends have started and you've seen them come and go within a year or two? Or things you get so excited and you put all this energy, and I like to use the analogy of a steam train. I talk about this all the time, especially when you look at motivation, especially when you look at starting something from scratch. If you're starting a new business in 2020, if you look at a steam engine, it is cold. It's sitting there on the tracks. Do you know how much energy it takes to get that thing started? Do you know how much coal it takes to put it to get it to at least get hot? A ton. But once you get it going on the tracks, guess what? It's just shovelfuls to keep it going. And the one thing that we don't want you to have happen to yourself, and I see this every day when I talk to business leaders here in the community, that their businesses are failing. That they don't know what to do. And they're fearful. I see so many business leaders here in Albuquerque fearful. And it's a fear of failure. But we all know we fail for it. That's what we do. That's what entrepreneurs do. Maybe 20 years ago when you first started your business, guess what? You didn't mind failing. You moved quickly. You put in there's a new thing, and I was talking about it earlier with China. There's this new thing with their tech companies that are out there is that they do 12-hour days, 6 days a week. And a lot of business meetings are done at 11 o'clock at night, 1 in the morning. We've lost this in society. We've gone to the point to where we think that we can do 4, 5, 6 hours a day of true work, and we think that we're good to go. Well, it's wrong. Guys, you've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the long hours. That's what it's about. If you don't want to do that, guess what? Go get a regular job. Close your business down and go get a job, a 9-to-5 one. But in the meantime, if you're not willing to do that, guess what? It's time to fail fast. It's time to fail often. It's time to get out of your comfort zone. Many of you have had businesses for 2, 3, 5, 10 years, and you've got comfortable. You've got that comfortable living. And guess what? Technology is passing you by. Do you know how many people I talk to that don't even do any digital marketing? That's great if you have an amazing business. You don't have to do that. But at some point, somebody will take you over. At some point in the future, It's going to happen. You know how many people I've seen that have gone bankrupt? You know how many people I've seen that's got their homes repossessed? You know how many people I've seen that's lost their social status here in the community? You know how many people I've seen that have lost their livelihoods? And their families have had to see them suffer and go through this. Do you know how many people I've seen that have committed suicide because they've associated themselves with the failure of what has happened in their business? And I'm not trying to paint a bleak picture for 2020. I'm trying to wake you guys up, because it's more than just fear. It's an emotion that you have. That is all it is. And that emotion can drive you and move you forward and cause you to do amazing things. Or it's going to cause you to stay in your comfort zone, to stay in your shell, and not break into the records that you know that your business create in 2020. You know you can be more aggressive. You know you can go faster. You know you can be smarter. But you're not that person that started that business 5 years ago. You've changed. You've gotten soft. And you've got to find those sources of fear that are in you and drive them out of you and use them as a catalyst for you to move forward. You have the personal ability to succeed. Every single one of you that are listening to this podcast has that ability. But you know as well as I do, you've let this emotion of fear negatively affect you. You've become less proactive. And instead, as everybody says, and this article talks about, you have this paralysis through analysis. That you would rather sit in a meeting all day long and make decisions instead of actually doing the work and executing. Take the lead. Call some customers. Get out there. Make some sales calls. Yeah, you've hired people for that. Why don't you go with them? Be a new you in 2020. It's time to get the vision clear. It's 2020. Are you talking about it or are you doing it? Are you talking about it or are you actually going to do it? Because that fear of failure, that fear that is taking you over and causing you not to do what you know you should do to be effective for yourself personally, for your family, and for your business, it's undermining everything that you're doing. And 2019, if you look back on this year and you say, it was okay, that's unacceptable. Look at it and say, if I am mediocre, I will die. I cannot be this way. How can I increase my investment in productivity for my life, my personal life, my mental, spiritual, my health? And as an entrepreneur, what do I need to do to challenge the people that are around me? Take your Christmas party, instead of drinking and getting fat and eating, take it, go have fun, but create a vision, a compelling vision that you have for 2020. Take your managers out. Take your staff out. Do a retreat for 2 days. Run up to Santa Fe, wherever you have to go. Confess to them that you haven't been who you need to be. Ask for forgiveness. Tell them about your fear. And I guarantee you they're going to share the same thing with you. And you sit in a room and lock yourself up and you come with the vision that you need to have for 2020. Because you know as well as I do, the only way you're going to overcome fear is to have the emotional control and you gut check yourself what's inside of you. We all call it emotional intelligence, but it's being aware enough to understand and to take control of the feelings that are influencing you. Because once they influence you, guess what happens? The thought, the behavior, it all puts you in that lower vibrational state. Once that happens, guess what? It's all negative. You're all influencing through your leadership, and you're creating this anxiety that is out there that is not allowing the people that are around you, your family, who you lead, and the people in your business who you lead, to be the best versions of themselves, because you're not. This may sound harsh to you, but this is what I have been working on for myself. This is what I have been working on for my businesses. And this is what needs to happen with all of us. We have to get to the point to where we decide that we are going to be who we need to be. And a new year, a new decade is the time to do it. From 2020 to 2030, how many changes do you think is going to happen in the world of business? How many changes do you think is going to happen in technology? Some of the biggest companies in the world right now, we never thought that Google would be this big. We never thought that Amazon would be this big. Guess what? It's happened. It's there. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to fight the internet. You're way too small. So what are you going to do about it? It's time to be creative. It's time to get a vision together. It's time to pick up those gloves and start fighting like you know how you used to do. You have the intuition in you. You have the problem-solving abilities. The business that you built is there because of the way that you were. All you need to do, and I love this article because it talks about being action-oriented, having an action-oriented approach, overcoming the desires to repress or ignore. How many people, guys, how many of you need to have a conversation with someone that you don't want to have a conversation with? I know there are a lot of you out there. You have an employee for the last 5 years that you've been letting them get away with whatever they want to get away with. It's fear. Take that fear, grab hold of it, sit them down and have the conversation that you need to have. Because that fear should push you to work harder. That fear should make you the best that you can be. That fear should cause you to go out early in the morning and train and be the best person that you can be physically so that when you're going to work, your mind is on it. If you're tuning out instead of listening to podcasts or instead of listening to motivational things, how many of you used to do that and you don't do that anymore? How many of you used to go to conferences, you don't do that anymore? How many of you used to have this mindset of learning, but you don't do that anymore? You just show up. You're like an employee. I'm telling you something, the minute that you begin to get back into a learning mindset, the minute that fear becomes exciting to you again, the minute that failure motivates you, and it gets that blood boiling again, and it gets that excitement back in you, and everybody around you are going to see that in you. That been there, done that mentality is not you. But you know what else is going to hurt your business? What's going to fuck it up? It's not just fear. Guess what else it is? Second thing, two things. Fear, number one. Second thing is being lazy. These are two things I face. I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to you guys right now. There's no judgment here. These are the two things I'm going to work on for myself in 2020. Not to be so fearful and not to be so lazy. How many of you used to plan your week in advance? You used to have that planner. You used to get up in the morning, listen to an inspirational talk, listen to some great music, get your cup of coffee out, and plan out your day. That's gone. Buy a planner. Get a planner. Start planning right now. You have several weeks you can plan right now for 2020. How many of you wait to the very last minute to get up and then you dress sloppy and then you show up late to your own business? But you expect the people that are around you to dress nicely or wear your uniform and be there on time, but you can't even do that as a business owner. You guys are underestimating the power of your appearance. Look good, feel good, perform good. Put yourself in that frame of mind of motivation. It's not time. You might as well just wear pajamas to work. Get up and get dressed. You want to overcome laziness? Take action. Have that do or die mentality. Get the David Goggins book. His name is David Goggins, Navy SEAL. Look him up. Go to YouTube, listen to his motivation. You know as well as I do that if you take action and you continue to take action, you get compound interest that's going to cause you to succeed in 2020 by taking more action than you did in 2019. Personally, how many of you have a daily routine? How many of you have structure? Have you scheduled time for yourself? Are you making sure you're getting enough sleep at night and that you're sleeping properly? Are you drinking at night, getting a buzz, and then falling asleep? And then waking up groggy in the morning, eating a shitty breakfast, a greasy, shitty breakfast, or running to a fast food place, and then expecting the rest of your day to be productive. Create a daily routine. Find that perfect rhythm that fits for you. If it's you staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning and then coming to work at 11 a.m., and you're being productive through that, you need to let your employees know that that's your schedule now. What makes you productive? When do you fire on all 10 cylinders? Another thing that many of you need to do to not be lazy is you need to change your environment. Stop staying at home and goofing off. Cut the Netflix off. Go to the gym. Go to a local coffee shop. Stop hanging around the people that all they want to do is just party and drink and have fun. Find people that are productive and that will motivate you. It's so important, guys, that we look at this new year as a way that we can change ourselves to be better. Because all of us need to set ourselves up to win. What does a win look like for you in 2020? Take the time to figure that out. Maybe you need to clean your office out. I walked into an office the other day and a guy hasn't touched his office in 15 years. Boxes and stacks of stuff. It's time. Do you think your employees would notice if you remodeled your office, made it look amazing, got rid of all the junk and the clutter that you've had in there for 15 years? Modernized it, put a little bit of paint. Well, I don't have that much money, Jason. Paint doesn't cost hardly anything. You can buy clearance cans of paint at Home Depot and Lowe's and paint your office. You can go on Facebook or Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. You can buy nice furniture very inexpensively. Get a new computer. Desktop computers with a nice monitor is so inexpensive nowadays. You don't have to have a MacBook Pro. You can go on eBay and find a couple-year-old computer with like a big 23, 27-inch monitor for hardly anything. Set yourself up to win. Get organized. You know as well as I do that you'll feel 10 times better. If you exercise, ate clean in the morning, got to work on time, were dressed really nice, and your office looked really nice, and you were organized, you would feel 10 times better. You'd be 10 times productive. We all know that. It would inspire you. Everything around you would inspire you to be more productive. There are some of you out there that need coaching. And I'm a marketing consultant. I'd be more than happy to help you guys with that. If that's something that you need, let me know. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm at ABQ Jason Rigby. I would love to be able to create an action plan for you guys. I would love to be able to, and I'm going to get more into this throughout the end of this year and the beginning of 2020. But I want to be able to inspire you guys to see the potential that you have inside of you. I want to reignite that fire that drove you in the beginning. And I want you not to be fearful and lazy, because those two things are the things that's going to fuck your business up in 2020. And one thing that I want you guys to understand right now is it's very fragile. This world is so fragile right now. There are companies that we never ever would have thought 2 years ago that are making billions of dollars right now. And there are companies that we thought were hugely undestructible that are like the Titanic right now, and money is being lost left and right. Huge firms are getting smaller, and these companies are just growing. These little companies just left from Montana to Florida to South Carolina. They're just popping up and taking over, which I love it, the entrepreneurial spirit. But guys, you cannot settle on your laurels. So how can you not be lazy with your business? Real quick, I want to give you these and then I'll be done. Watch out for your dangerous employees. What do you mean dangerous, Jason? Watch out for your dangerous employees. These are people that you've been tolerating. And I told you earlier, you need to have a conversation with them. And if you can't have a conversation with them, let your managers have a conversation, but you should be there. But they need to go. Who in 2020 needs to go? That's causing you not to be the best person in your life, in whatever type of relationship that you have. I'm going to tell you something too. Pay attention to marketing. You've just been letting the same person do your marketing for 10 years and you haven't changed anything. Start paying attention to marketing. You're smart. You started a business. You can read articles online about marketing. Look what's out there. Look what cutting edge businesses are doing. Go to a conference about your business. Get reignited. See what other people are doing that are starting brand new business that are being successful. Stop wasting money on marketing that does not work. Be consistent in your marketing because at the end of the day, the brand is all you've got. Especially if you're looking at digital, that's all you got. Those are the most successful companies that are coming on the scenes are the ones that are getting their branding right. Some of you have unhealthy partnerships. Be firm, be done. Whatever you have to do, get out or have the uncomfortable conversation. Relationship problems with business partners cause so much anxiety amongst the employees. It's like living when you have two business partners that do not like each other and the employees know that and you're pitting sides against them. It's like them having a dysfunctional family and trying to pick which parent. No employee wants that. Favoritism, jealousy, the list goes on and on. One thing I want to challenge you to for your business, know your numbers, look at them every day. Have your person print out the reports, leave them on your desk every day for where every dollar is going and what's happening. Don't have a lackadaisical attitude towards your numbers. That's cancer. You've got to know what's going on. Track, report, analyze, know where every dollar is going. You are going to be amazed when you begin to look at your numbers daily. And lastly, create that vision for 2020 and make sure from the janitor to the stock boy to the baker to your accounts receivable to your sales manager to your CEO, whoever it may be, that they know the vision. It's about growth in 2020. Don't let fear, don't let laziness stop you. Let it motivate you. And I guarantee you, you'll be the best person that you can be in 2020. Thank you guys. If you want to subscribe to more of this, please go to my podcast, share it with others. We're changing it up January. We're having we got new artwork going. We've got a whole new way that we're doing things. It's going to be more cutting edge. I encourage you. I want to be and create the most value that I can create for you. That is what I'm about. That's what I want to do. That's how I want to help you. I want to create a ton of value. I want whenever you hit subscribe and then you get notified that you just can't wait to listen to the podcast. So many of you DM me and I thank you for that and I appreciate you for that. If you have questions, let me know. You can go to abqpodcast.com. You can go to my website and see it. We're going through a change on that too. I am not going to be lazy and I'm not going to be fearful. We're moving forward in the direction that we should go for 2020. And I encourage you guys to do that. Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, DukeCityMarketing.com. Please go to abqpodcast.com where you can get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner in Albuquerque.